Hello everyone, welcome to our Accounting 210. In this video, we finally will officially talk about chapter 1. So I'm going to share my screen with you and then I stop showing my face. So let's get started. Okay, if you watched the last time the video, you should know where to find all the information from the Blackboard. You go to our course, you go to the left side, you find the week 1. And then in week 1, I kind of show you the learning objective. We have 2 chapters to cover, and then you need to read those things. I also encourage you to participate in the discussion to get the free bonus. And then I put all the lecture and the media in this folder. So click the chapter 1 folder. I already put those information there. You will have the PowerPoint talking about overall the information for chapter 1. And I put 2 important parts in a separate Word file. Open it, download it, do whatever you want to do and read textbook. Chapter 1, like all other courses, first chapter really doesn't have much meat there. The role is giving you a general idea of what this course will cover, what managerial accounting will cover. So you really don't have any problem in the My Accounting Lab, but you have a quiz because it still gives you some definition questions. So you still have the multiple choice that I can test you based on those concepts. So make sure you practice with the My Accounting Lab, the quiz part. I already have those things in my computer. So let's just get started going to the PowerPoint directly. Okay, so I show you this together. The first thing, our chapter 1, introduction to managerial accounting, right? Introduction to managerial accounting. Learning objective, there are 5 learning objectives. As I explained, I want you to pay attention for learning objective 1 and 2, and then learning objective 4. So learning objective 1, identify managers' 3 primary responsibilities. Your job is you need to know there are 3 primary responsibilities, and then you also need to know the detail for each one. Hey, what's that? So the 3 responsibilities is planning, directing, and controlling. The decision making, no matter you plan, no matter you directing, or no matter your control, the decision making and the feedback, those 2 are incorporated in all 3 responsibilities, right? So it's incorporating all of the responsibilities. So what's the meaning of planning? From the name, you can get the general idea, right? Planning is you set the goal and the objective and how to achieve the goal. I say your plan for this course, Accounting 210, is I want to get A or B or C or D, right? So, and then how do I get it? You plan, say, hey, I plan every day I work for 1 hour. So that's my goal, and I get my goal by learning 1 hour every day. So that's planning. And directing is you oversee your daily-to-daily operation. You oversee your daily-to-daily operation. For the business is your daily-to-daily operation, your production, your purchase, your sales. So those are the directing, whether people got in on time, any defective rate. So those are the directing. For your daily life, it's the same, right? You cannot just say, hey, I plan to study 1 hour every day. Am I really doing that? Like today, did I really study 1 hour? So you have to kind of monitor yourself every day. That's directing. The last one is controlling. How do you know you are doing good or bad? You have to evaluate. You have to evaluate yourself, compare yourself, your actual with your budget. You plan to study 1 hour every day, but maybe one day you didn't study. You have to have a good control. So if you didn't do something well, you want to make the adjustment. Maybe next day, you want to study 1 hour more extra. Okay, so that's the first thing, just the 3 primary responsibility and the detail for each one. You can find the detail of the concept from your textbook. Make sure you read textbook. PowerPoint just give you a very general outline. You have to get the detail from the textbook. Learning objective 2, talking about the difference of financial accounting and managerial accounting. I'll keep this in a separate file, so we talk about that later. Learning objective 3 is basically talking about the management accountant. So if you want to be a managerial accountant, you have to know a lot of skills. I'm not going to really read, but you have to know the technical skills and then also non-technical skills. I like this part a lot. It's basically telling you our course is very important for all majors, for all careers. You will say, hey, professor, I'm not accounting major. I already suffered a lot in accounting 200. Why you bring me here in your accounting 210? I have to say sorry about that, right? You want to get your degree, you have to finish this course. But personally, I like this managerial accounting a lot. I took financial accounting many times actually, but do I do journal entry every day? You know, I go to Starbucks today. I went to Starbucks today. I spent $5. I got a cup of coffee. Did I go home, drive home all the way, and then I got my notebook? Debit, Starbucks expense $5. Credit, cash $5. I don't do that. But when I drove to Starbucks, I made a decision, right? I had $5 in my wallet. I said, hey, I'm going to spend $5 in Starbucks instead of McDonald's. I made a decision. My decision is I'm going to Starbucks. I'm not going to McDonald's. So I made a decision. That's what will be covered in our course. We talk about decision making. We talk about all the strategies. We talk about time value of money. So I really think this course is not just useful for all careers. It's actually very important for everybody, for all the individuals, because you make decisions. You make decisions every day. Should I take Professor Song course or should I take another professor, right? Should I finish the assignment tonight or should I wait until tomorrow? So many things will be covered in this course that are very useful. If your major is the management, you know, we definitely cover a lot of things related with your major because it's called managerial accounting. Come on, right? We talk about many things related with management. If your major is marketing or sales, you know, we will also talk about sales strategy. We talk about the sales budget. You will learn related information. If your major is finance, talk about time value of money. We talk about present value, future value. I hope that's related with your major. If your major is information system, we don't really go to detail, but we also talk about managers should have the technology skills, right? Big data, so those things. So everything is really not debit, credit, or balance sheet or income statement. Trust me, I think hopefully you will enjoy this course. Next one, talking about the typical organizational structure. I don't know you have learned this in your other business course or, you know, management classes. General idea is the board of directors, they will hire a CEO, and then CEO will get other officers, COO, you know, CFO, and all the VPs. Under CFO, there is treasurer and then controller. They have different roles. You can see the difference here. And then they also have the internal audit, but the firm overall, they also have the audit committee. So that gives you the basic idea for the organization of the business. Learning objective 4, I have a separate sheet. So we talk about the detail later. But we have one thing is the Institute of the Management Accountant, and then it issued the 4 ethical standards. Okay, so you have to know that general idea. Hey, there are 4 ethical standards that management accountant should follow. What's the meaning of IMA? I already said it's the Institute of the Management Accountant, and then they also issue the Certified Management Accountant certification. You have heard a lot of CPA, right? CPA, the certification. But if you want to go to manager accounting, there is also a certification called CMA. And everybody can take it. You don't need to be the accounting major. You don't need to even in the business field. You still can take it as long as you meet the criteria. And you will, on average, the research said, right, you can get higher salary than the non-CMA peers. It's really a good deal. I strongly kind of encourage students to take it. It's much easier than CPA, and then cost is lower. And then you really don't need to know too much about debit, credit, journal entries if you are not a big fan like me for those things. As I said, the IMA issued 4 criteria, 4 standards. Your job, right? One more time, your job is, what the name of those 4 standards. One is the maintain professional competence, and then preserve the being confidential with the class information, and then uphold your integrity, and then perform duty with credibility. You have to know those 4 things. If I give you the example, I say, hey, which standard is not the ethical standard, you should be able to get the right answer. And you also need to know for each specific standard, what does it mean? So we will talk about this in a separate video and then separate piece of the Word file. Okay, so I'm not really going to talk too much about the next slides, because whenever you have any ethical problems, always consult with your firm's policy and report to your supervisor, those things. Last learning objective is learning objective 5 is talking about the business trends and then regulation. The first trend, as I said, if you're information system, everybody talk about big data. I don't know, you have heard big data, IA, those things, AI. You say, I cannot even speak English, right? Those things, yes or no, but it's really a big trend for our business field even. So read the textbook, talk about all those, the ERP systems, talking about those tools. The second trend is the shifting economy and globalization. So first thing is globalization, and also think about the sustainability. We cannot just think about the profit. We also think about people. We also think about planet. You don't just think about the economy, right? You also think about the society, social, and the environment. Last thing is, in 2002, the Congress passed an act called the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which is also called ACCT. I don't know whether you were born in 2002, yes or no, but I was already born. So general idea is, after many business scandals, investors, they lost their confidence to the capital market. So the goal for the act is to enhance the internal control, improve the reporting quality. There are many features, but textbook gives you 4 important features. So CEO and the CFO, they have to be responsible for the firm's statements. If they say, hey, the statement said our profit is 10,000 million, then the CEO and the CFO, they have to sign for that number and be responsible for it. The audit committee will also include a financial expert to read all this financial data. And then CPA firms also have to have a better control or better monitoring with the firms. And then the CEO or the staff, they will also have a personal monetary penalty if something related with the business got sued or cause the problem. So that's basically all for our first chapter, the PowerPoint. As I said, the PowerPoint just gives you a brief outline. I really think of, at least for learning objective 1 and learning objective 2, learning objective 4, you should, at least for those 3 learning objectives, you should go to a textbook and then read the details. So you will be ready for the quiz in my accounting lab. Okay, I see you in the next video. We talk about learning objective 2, difference of financial accounting and managerial accounting. Thank you.